Well, everybody's heard of cloud computing. Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking to a local Dallas startup that is on the leading edge of edge computing. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, when personal computing came along a few decades ago, we weren't moving that much data around. Really, when you think about it, think about how much data is just being moved from your cell phone to the cloud. And my next guest is Samy Fodil. He is the CEO and founder of Taubyte. You're saying that we need to move from cloud computing to edge computing. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. And actually, you might be leveraging or using edge computing right now.
Really?
Without knowing it.
Tell us, so a lot of people watching this, they may not be technical, so what is edge computing?
Okay, so edge computing really refers to like a data centers, smaller data centers, or servers inside those data centers that are really nearby. They could be at your ISP level, so they're kind of like a couple miles away. They could be at a cell tower level. But the technical definition of edge is broader, and it really goes all the way to your device. So if your device, for example, does some data processing on, like, let's take a simple example of your phone. Your phone is processing your data, like putting a beard on your face, right? That's edge computing. And companies like Qualcomm, for example, are investing a lot of money on those chips that can do a lot of edge computing on the device as well.
You were explaining to me that when you do make those TikTok videos, that information is going all the way to the cloud and coming back again? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Like if the data is going all the way back to the cloud and back, you have that latency. That's number one. The number two disadvantage is it is consuming a lot of data. So as we have more and more people leveraging video, and not like we're going to like 4K and 8K video,
yes.
Like can you imagine all of that going to a central location, right, and being processed over there? So this is why, like with 5G rollouts, those chips that can do a lot of processing at the edge, and those servers that are deployed at the tower level, they're called mobile edge computing data centers. So those are important components to keep the data local and keep the processing local, because like we're not talking about like 1 million connected devices. Like in 2019, there has been 27 active IoT devices, growing by over 100. With 5G rollouts, that will skyrocket, right? So
yes.
Imagine like hundreds of billions of devices, like needing to process data, needing to process video. You cannot send all that data to a central location.
Well, we found a great explainer video on your website. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Mm-hmm.
Corporation. By 2025, there will be over 42 billion IoT devices. With today's hyperconnectivity, cloud service usage is skyrocketing, putting a huge amount of pressure on the internet backhaul and raising concerns about privacy and security. This is what edge computing solves. Because they understand that IoT companies more than ever before are moving away from the cloud to the edge. The downside of running software on or in proximity to devices is the complexity of building and shipping distributed software. This is the problem we're solving at Taubyte with a unique and innovative approach. Our platform strips away the complexity of building distributed software, and has the intelligence to dynamically make it available in proximity to IoT devices, thereby letting developers focus on the business logic. Taubyte is the first natively distributed edge computing platform that offers computing, storage, database, message brokers, and ledger functions as a service. To learn more about us, visit us at taubyte.com.
Very nice video. We were talking before the show about the Internet of Things, and you gave an example of a pump overheating. Will you share that with the audience?
Yeah, sure. So edge computing is as I said, like, it's not just to nearby data centers. It's also on site or like on the device itself. So on industrial deployments, you have some of that computing that needs to happen really on site, because if it takes too long to get a response back, it's a failure and can cost a lot of money. A simple example, like I said, like if a pump is overheating and needs to be shut down, it has to be done immediately. If that information goes all the way to the cloud, takes too long, or maybe the connectivity is lost, which is very common in IoT, that could mean like very expensive like equipment failure to like on that particular site.
And workplace injuries and all of that stuff. You guys are a relatively young company, but I've been very impressed with all the awards you've won. We've got an article on one of the many awards that you guys have received. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we won the Cambridge Wireless Technology and Innovation Award for Edge Computing, sponsored by Qualcomm. There are many companies in that competition, including VMware. Our like what's different about our platform and what resonated with the judges is they understand that, number one, software is important at the edge. So all your devices really rely on software, and software is number one feature that makes that product valuable. Think of your Tesla, for example. When Tesla originally deployed the Model S, people would complain about something, and overnight Tesla would update the software and the problem is gone.
Wow.
This is the power of software, and software is everywhere. Now, the problem with 5G, or the problem at the edge in general, it's different hardware, a lot of small devices all over the place, and a lot of data centers around. So it's not like your phone where the app tell you, hey, you need to update your app. There is no human operator to update that. So you need to handle that automatically. So we came up with the term smart computing for a computing platform that is at the edge of the network, and that self-operates the software updates for you, the networking issues that you at the edge, and so on. And this is what kind of impressed the judges, and this like what got us to win that award.
Well, I'm very impressed with your company, and I see great things in the future. We're going to end by putting up your website so everybody can get in touch. It's Taubyte.com is the website. And Samy, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet.
Yeah.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.